BeastNet podcast, sponsored in part by James Safety Services, OCR Buddy, and supported by the fitness community. Here we discuss all things fitness related, running, rucking, mental health and preparedness, and of course, obstacle course racing. Welcome to the BeastNet.
Hey everybody out there in BeastNet land, Hammer here, bringing you more BeastNet. In an effort to promote more local races and events, we've been reaching out to various race coordinators, team members, and ambassadors from around the country to get to know more about them and their local events. So joining us this evening is youth coach, personal trainer, member of OCRaddix, and ambassador for Phoenix Race, Victoria Phillips. Good evening, Victoria. How are you?
How are you?
I am fantastic. I'm loving this 42-degree weather.
Oh man, you can love that all on your own, my friend.
Yeah. I bet it's nice and warm and cozy down there on the East Coast.
Oh no, I mean, we're like in the middle, so it's still cold here. We just don't get the snow.
Oh, okay.
We just get to be cold.
Yeah, well, that's too bad. Like cold without snow. I just can't. No, that's not ideal.
It really robs you of the snow fun for sure. So we OCR it up instead.
Hey, there you go. Got to do what you can to stay warm, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about Victoria, aka Coach V, and what got you into the lovely world of OCR and led up to you becoming a member of OCRaddix.
Well, I did my first race in 2019, and I did it with my daughter, and she was 9 years old at the time, and she did a kids race at Spartan, and she was like, "Mom, that was too easy," and it was like, "Oh yeah, let's find something that's not too easy for you." So we trained her a lot, and then I just found that I had a passion for teaching OCR. I was already doing kids camps, so I was doing different types of sports camps during school breaks locally here in Chattanooga and also for Ringgold, Georgia. So it just translated really easily for me to go from coaching kids and more of like a sports specific and or speed and agility, strength and conditioning aspect, and translating it into obstacle course racing, which there's so much more grip strength that's involved. And there's a lot of strategy that goes into the harder obstacles as well. So I was really excited to have a new challenge and try something out new with the kids. And I love it. And I'm still coaching it. So it's pretty great.
Awesome. Before we get into Phoenix Race itself, I wanted to ask, was there a particular motivation to become an ambassador, or was it just the natural desire to promote fun, challenging, and worthwhile ways of life?
Yeah, I would say it's a little bit of both. So my very first race back in 2019, I was instantly addicted to doing obstacle course racing. And I personally know Julie Wolff and Jason Fye, which are the founders of the Phoenix Race brand. And I really wanted to support them and get this new brand all over the country and let people know that there are other types of brands other than the standard big wig, Spartan, Savage race. We've got some really fun family-oriented races to offer them too, and it's more cost effective.
What for you is most enjoyable about being an ambassador for such an event, and what is the most challenging about it?
I would say those are probably one and the same. So the most enjoyable part of being an ambassador is getting to promote something that's brand new. But that's also the most challenging part as well, because people just don't know the name yet. So we really have the challenge in front of us of getting our name out there. And because it's a family-oriented race and a family-oriented brand, I believe that we have a great marketing ability to get out there and get families interacting together, get them off of technology. So most fun and most challenging, same thing.
Yeah. When it's funny, because when I came up with that question, I was like, I bet I would put money on it that she's going to say they're the same. Because and that's usually the way. And that's usually the way we are, especially those of us that are really addicted and really into OCR. Is the fun part is the challenge, and overcoming that challenge is inherently, it's probably one of the most rewarding things aside from having kids. So
And it's like the motto for obstacle course racing
Oh,
is to literally overcome obstacles.
Exactly. So overcoming obstacles and all that, we're talking about Phoenix Race. What is Phoenix Race?
So Phoenix Race is an OCR brand. So it is going to be incorporated with different mileage. So you might see a 5K, which is 3 miles, and it may go up to 7 or 8 miles. We also have some plans to do other types of things that doesn't involve just the obstacle course race itself, but also have trail runs, and that's generally a longer distance. So you're not experiencing any obstacles there, but you are running the trails and getting the distance. So 2 different types of things, but it's all inclusive into the same brand. There's also different types of heats that are into the Phoenix Race. So we have competitive heat, we have an open heat, which is where you can run with your children or you can run with your friends, play on the obstacles. And then we also have the kids race as well. So it's dynamic in a way that we offer a lot to everybody. So no one feels left out. Everyone has the capability to participate in these races.
Okay, awesome. What would you say sets your event apart from others? And I know you touched on some of the family stuff and allowing the open heats to, just kind of get familiar with obstacles and play on them and stuff like that. But what would you say sets your event apart from others?
I think that having the family orientation is one of the biggest aspects that sets us apart. Most of the races don't allow you to run with your children at a younger age. So we actually allow children 10 years old and up to run with their family on the adult race, and then 14 and up can run on their own.
Oh, wow.
A lot of these larger name races just don't allow that. You have to be 13, 14 years old to be on the adult race, period. So the simple fact that we offer that opportunity to families really sets us apart because we focus on family togetherness and the family overcoming obstacles together.
Okay.
Also, we're going to have multiple different locations, and you'll see different types of obstacles at each location. So it's not just a standard, each race that you go to is going to be a cookie cutter phase of obstacles. We're going to have different types of obstacles that fit the terrain.
Oh, wow. Yeah, because I know a lot of the bigger name ones, they all have the same obstacles throughout their events. It's usually just a different course with all the same obstacles.
Right.
So
of course, you're going to see some that are repeated.
Yeah.
But there's definitely going to be
fine.
different stuff at every venue.
Yeah, I like that you guys are changing it up depending on what fits the venue and kind of tailoring it to that environment. To me, that actually is pretty neat because most of us go to these big name events, like you said, Spartan, Savage, Tough Mudder, Terrain, any of these other ones, and they pretty much have the same exact thing other than whatever the course is on. So that's
you already
actually
know what to
nice.
expect.
Exactly. You can train for a Spartan event all year round just because you already know what obstacles are going to be there.
Yeah. Our master builder, Jason Pye, loves to keep people guessing, and you never know what that guy's going to come up with. So even I will be surprised as to what we see on the course.
That's awesome. It's nice to shake things up and actually do something, that's original.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
Does your business need first aid, AED, OSHA, flagging, or other safety training? James Safety Services is your one-stop shop. Find them on Facebook today at James Safety Services WA and ask for a quote on hosting your training needs.
And we're back.
Is there anything in particular that you would like your participants or attendees to take away from the event other than your really cool finisher shirts? Because those things are awesome.
Oh my goodness. Did you get to see our finishers?
Yes, I did.
Shirts?
Those things are amazing.
My gosh.
Best looking finisher shirt I've ever seen.
You haven't got to check out them. I'm telling you, click on our link. Go check it out. Have you seen the medal as well?
I have not actually seen the medal. I've seen the finisher shirts, but not the medal.
The medal is equally as awesome. And it's finished glass too. So it's a legit medal. It's not flimsy and something you're just going to toss on the side.
Yeah.
It's definitely something you're going to want to put up on the wall or on your medal hanger.
There you go. For those of you guys interested in participating in Phoenix Race, you can find their information on Facebook and at Phoenix Race OCR. We also provide links in our episode descriptions. So if you want to see the finisher shirts, check out the medals and stuff like that, you can definitely check those out. So Victoria, what would you say to someone who's on the fence about attending one of your events?
I think that's pretty common. We see that often in children, and we also see it in adults too. A lot of people think, I'm not in enough shape. I need to train for it. I just don't know. And the great thing about it is you can just do the open heat. And if you don't feel comfortable with doing an obstacle, you can choose to give yourself a penalty like burpees or jumping jacks, or you can just move on to the next obstacle, be the photographer for your friends and your family. So really don't be intimidated about it. If you're on the fence, just do it. If you're thinking about it, just do it. Go for it. Go with a group of friends, go with your family. Everyone is going to help each other, and you always make friends at every single obstacle event that you go to. I'm sure you've experienced that yourself. You always walk away with like 5 people's numbers at least, because you just, people see you on the course, and if you're struggling or they're struggling, they just go and help. And there's so much encouragement and so much love. I mean, obstacle course racing is really a family. I know we keep coming back to that, but it's so true. The community is so tight knit and welcoming, and everybody belongs.
Absolutely. That's a huge staple of the conversation, especially within BeastNet, is just how much community outreach there is, even outside of events. Like, I've met people at events that I'm still friends with, and we still talk outside of races. Some people I've actually only met one time in person. Met them at a race, we became friends, and we still talk online. We still, talk to each other, through text, and it's crazy. Like, you meet these new people.
There's just something about getting muddy with people, and it just, it just brings you together.
Exactly. And I mean, it could be anywhere on the course. I mean, it could be an obstacle, or it could just be in passing on a trail or something. You meet somebody, say you've either been, this is horrible to say, but like, if you're racing with a team, because this has happened to me, if you either take off or your team takes off and you're isolated, and then you say you're having a hard time, and you get somebody that comes up in the trail and decides, hey, I'm going to stick with this guy, he looks like he's having a little bit of trouble, or, and it's just this encouragement, and you keep talking, you keep having conversation. And before you know it, by the time you finish the race next to them, you've already made a new friend. And then you go and sit down and, cool off after the race, and you talk, then you exchange numbers, emails, Facebook profiles, whatever. And then it just becomes this like lifelong thing. And then you start, I guess, you start coordinating with them to go to more events. And that's happened plenty of times for me. And it serves to further build that community. And then, you bring somebody along that's never done one before, they meet them, and then you have a bigger group of friends. It's crazy.
I know, it's great. The same thing has happened to me. I almost always pick up people along the way somewhere.
Yeah. For those of you guys listening that are interested in participating, you can enter Phoenix Race through the links provided on their Facebook page, Phoenix Race OCR, or by clicking on the links provided in the episode description. They have numerous events at various locations this year, the next of which is in Meridian, Mississippi on April 17th. Victoria, kind of give us an idea of the events that you guys have scheduled this year.
Yeah, so far we've got 4 that are scheduled for the year. We're working on getting some more. We've been talking to some venues around the nation. So like you said, our first one is going to be in April in Meridian, Mississippi. And then our second one is going to be on May the 2nd in Crandall, Georgia. Then on June the 12th in Rock Spring, Georgia. And then finally on September 18th in Chattanooga, Tennessee, which is my hometown. And those are all that we have scheduled at the moment, but definitely stay tuned. We're planning on booking some more very soon. As far as pricing goes, for the adult race, it's $79 per adult. If you do have a child that's going to be running the adult race with you, they will also be at that price. And then the children's race is going to be $39. And once again, that is going to be 10 and under for the kids race. 10 to 13 is going to be children with their parents or in a group. For instance, my kids will run as an OCRaddix junior group, and we'll go together. So if parents don't want to run with their kids, but the kids want to participate, they're more than welcome to join us with OCRaddix. And then the adults are the $79. However, I have a very special offer. Being an ambassador, I have the opportunity to offer a 25% discount for anyone that wants to sign up. The discount code is my name, Victoria, with a capital V. So go and get signed up with my code. It helps me and it'll help you save some money.
Awesome. Well, there you have it. You get a sweet discount code, 25% off. You can attend.
Makes a difference, man. That's a good discount.
Exactly. I mean, most ones I don't think even give you 25% off.
Yeah.
I think most
Not
of them
to mention the adult race is only $79.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
when you go to those bigger races, you're looking at 100, 150, maybe even closer to 200, depending on what you're doing.
Exactly. I mean, I've paid upwards of $170 for a race.
Oh, easily.
And that's, I mean, not to say that it's ridiculous, because I'll pay it. I enjoy it.
Yeah, it's fun.
I think that people are getting a good quality race and having a fun time. I mean, for $79, and even with a discount code, 25% off.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's definitely a great deal.
Exactly.
And also the other great thing about that too, I should have mentioned this about what makes us different from the other races, is that if we do have to cancel for any reason, you will get a free refund, and you'll also be able to pass on your ticket to a different race if you want to.
Okay. Awesome.
So we do guarantee that to everyone that purchases a ticket. For instance, I don't want to say the word. It's like the word that's not mentioned anymore, but it's COVID. So if we have to cancel because of COVID or other reasons, you'll definitely get your money back, or you can pass on to another race. We always guarantee that.
That's actually a heck of a guarantee right there.
Yes, it is.
Do you have any professional, promotional, personal shout outs that you'd like to give out?
Ooh, that's a good question. This list might be a little long. I might have to might have to condense this a little bit. Of course, first and foremost, I got to shout out the two founders once again, so you remember their name, Julie Wolff and Jason Fye, wonderful race directors. They're putting their heart and soul into this and really making it their all and their best. To all of our other ambassadors, people are going to use my discount code. And then, of course, I also got to give a shout out to my OCRaddix kids. They're awesome. They're in here training every single week, twice a week even, and they're so excited for their next race. They're going to go out there and kick some butt. There
you go. I also kind of wanted to ask you, I should have asked you this earlier, but it just now crossed my mind because I didn't have it in my notes. But what do you have, like a particular memory that stands out in any of these races or any of your OCR that is your absolute favorite?
Oh, yes. That's an easy question.
I figured it would be.
It happened in multiple different instances, but my absolute favorite thing to see is children helping children without being told. It's not, hey,
that's the stipulation.
Go help so-and-so get over the wall. They just take it on themselves. Like some of the faster ones may want to bolt off and finish the race really fast, but they always come back and check on their friends and make sure that their friends are getting through it. They're always standing next to each other, clapping and cheering each other on. And it just makes my little heart melt. Yeah. It's so awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, in a nutshell, it's kind of like teaching them how we would want to teach them, but to respect others and to help others. And
without being asked either.
Yeah, exactly.
It just purely comes from the goodness of their heart and just wanting to be a good person and
wanting other people to succeed.
Life,
Yeah, exactly. And I can't say that I've ever seen that at a race, mainly because I'm in the adult wave, and I don't really race alongside children most of the time, and if I do, they're probably faster than me.
Factual.
yeah, I'm part of the tortoise club. Running
My daughter
running
smokes
and
me, man.
oh yeah, kids, man, they're so resilient. I'm part of the tortoise club, that's what I like to call it, where it's slow and steady wins it. I don't have the greatest speed. What's weird for me is that I don't know if this is other people, but like the first 1 or 2 miles is like gruesome on my feet and my shins and stuff. After that, I just don't even care. I'm like, I don't know, I can't even feel my legs past my knees
Yeah,
anymore.
right.
So grip strength, yeah, that's a big no for me. um my strong suit is like moving lots of weight, atlas
Oh
balls,
yeah, yeah.
anything like that, pushing an object. I'm
I'm
pretty,
all about picking up heavy stuff and putting it down.
yeah, there you go.
It's a good
I
life, man.
Yeah, it is. I love it. I mean, that's pretty much the biggest reason I used to lift when I was younger in college. It was just who can lift more, and it was always this challenge to push more and to be stronger than your friend or whoever.
Yeah,
And
that's
that's,
a guy thing.
well, yeah, it kind of is. And it's funny because I get out on some of these courses and I already know that like Pretty Mike, he's one of the other BeastNet hosts, and congrats to him, by the way, because during 2020 he actually made it his goal, since there was obviously a lot of free time,
Yeah.
with the word that we won't say. he actually dropped 100 pounds. And
Wow.
yeah,
That's
he
that's
is
phenomenal. Congratulations.
yeah, he is by far, like, because we used to go out running with him, and no offense to Mike, there were times where it was like I would go out on a race with Mike, or we would go out just for a walk, or even just to get some exercise. And no offense to Mike, he would always wear jeans, and he would always wear like really really crappy shoes.
Yeah.
And he'd always like super heavy breathing. And I always just remember going, man, like, I think we're going to kill Mike one of these days. Like, I think he's just going to, he's going to quit coming to these because he's just going to stop. Like, he doesn't want to be tortured anymore. And then 2020 hits, this guy takes off like a bat out of hell, drops 100 pounds. This dude's running like half marathons almost every day. Seriously,
That's
I'm looking.
insane.
Yeah, I look at his Facebook and like Strava, whatever, Strava. I always call it Stravia. Anyway, Strava. And he's out running like 13, 14 miles every morning,
Kudos to
just
him, man.
consistently. So it was like we used to kind of like, I would like leave him sometimes on the race. Now he smokes me. And it's like, I've never had the endurance. I mean, obviously I can work on it, and I am, but running has never been my strong suit. It's always been like the physical heavy lifting.
Yeah.
And I think that's just mainly because I've never really enjoyed running. Like, it's never been something
I totally
that,
get that. Yeah.
I've actually started trying to incorporate that a lot more, not because I want to, or not because I like to, but I know that
You got
at
to.
some point I'm going to have to run. I don't know what from or for, but at some point I will have to run. And I think a lot of it just has to do with, my motivation behind it mainly is I just want to be physically capable of doing what my children are doing. And
Yeah.
I want to incorporate them in some of these events, bring them along.
Yeah.
My oldest, she's 4. I had to think about that for a second because
It's too long. You're gonna get in trouble with
right.
your wife.
Right. Yeah, right. Exactly. Well, we've got 2. Our oldest is 4, and our youngest is she's coming up on 11 months. So, but our 4-year-old, she is in this phase right now where she wants to climb on everything. She has just outstanding amounts of energy. I don't know where she gets it.
Do you wish you could just like tap into that?
Yes, exactly.
Like, just
I
like
wish.
breathe it in. Like, just
Yeah.
give me some of that.
Yeah, exactly. Give me some of that energy, kid. Like, I'm gonna mainline that stuff. And but yeah, I mean, we put together a bunk bed for her, even though she's the only one sleeping on the bed itself right now. we put that together, and then before you know it, she was climbing on it and like, shimmying across it almost like Z-wall.
Oh, that's awesome.
Climbing around the corner. And so like we've got a big tractor tire in her backyard that she likes to climb on and balance on. At one point across our fire pit with no fire, by the way.
What fun is that?
Well, I put a board across it so that she could walk across it and kind of get used to, walking across to like an open space on a narrow plank, and she loved it. And to me, that was kind of cool, because I only got my start in OCR a couple of years ago. And like you said, we all fall into it. It becomes addicting. And
oh man,
I'm
first
hoping,
race.
Yeah, exactly. And my first race was horrible. It was like the
was
worst.
It?
Yes, it was.
Aww.
No.
But
I
you
think,
stuck to it, so
exactly. But I think
you had to enjoy it a little bit.
I did, and the reason I say it was horrible is because, and I know listeners have heard this before, but I don't care. We attended a race. It was a Warrior Dash, and it was just kind of an introductory thing. My brother-in-law, which is Don, the manager of the podcast, I'm dating his, well, at the time I was dating his sister, who is now my wife. And he was like, hey, I'm doing this obstacle course race, if you guys want to come out and maybe have some fun. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. That's horrible looking. Like, who wants to go out and off the comfort of their own couch and get muddy and sweaty?
I hear that all the time.
And yeah, I mean, who wants to pay money for that and get out and do it? And within like the first mile, I was hooked. I was like, oh, this is amazing. This is so cool. Like, I've never enjoyed like nature or the environment like quite like this. And I'm actually doing something to challenge myself. Well, where it all kind of went downhill for that event was we had kind of like there was a little pit, and you had to walk across or go across the plank, and then they're shooting water up at it. So it gets you with this really cold water. And so the plank's wet, you're wet, you get past it. Well, then right around the corner, after going through some mud, you've got like these trenches, and they're like 3 or 4 feet deep, and they're probably about 3 to 4 foot wide. And you have to run and just kind of like hop, skip, and jump over them. And the very last one has kind of like this, almost like a trapeze on it. You hang there and you have to like swing across. So yeah. So the handhold on this thing is literally only as wide as your 2 hands. So, and it's already wet. It's got mud on it. You've got mud on your hands. So it's already going to be slippery.
Yeah.
I was under the impression, I thought these pits were going to be filled with water, but they weren't. And so it's all just dug up earth. There's all these rocks filling everything. And they're big rocks too. They're not small. Like these big boulders, and they're all jagged and everything. It's almost like a survivor race or something, you just have to like, don't fall or you're gonna, it'll be the last of you. And I grabbed this thing and I swing across, and to my amazement, I made it. But so it's weighted, and as the apparatus is coming back down, the handhold portion of it catches my fingertips and it pulled me backwards, and I went head first into this pit. And oh yeah,
You landed on a boulder?
I landed on multiple rocks. So
did you break anything?
No, I didn't, other than my pride. No. So
well, at least that can be mended.
Right, exactly. So I kind of had this like spacey moment where like everything blacked out. I wasn't out for very long. It was just very temporary. But when I came back, like all I see is like, I'm in this like shallow grave looking thing. And I'm like, oh no, what's going on? And like, so I see Don kind of reach over the edge, and he reaches in, grabs me by the arm and starts to pull me up. And he's like, are you all right? And I'm like, what the hell's going on? What are we doing? Like, where am I? He goes, dude, you just fell in a pit. Are you all right? And I'm like, how the hell did I fall in a pit? What is going on? And then when I came out of the pit, it all like came back. I was like, oh, I'm doing this obstacle course race.
Did you have a concussion after that?
Honestly, I don't know. That's probably what's wrong with my memory.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's what we'll say.
Yeah, that's what we'll say. Honestly, I couldn't tell you. I don't know if I did or not, because all that mattered to me at that point was, I'm going to finish this race. So I got up, got out of the pit. I started, probably about quarter mile down the quarter mile down the trail. I'm like, man, I'm really sweaty back here. And I reach back and there's like tiny little rocks that are sticking out of the back of my head. And like, I had no idea that they were even there. I didn't even feel them. So like, there's just tiny little pebbles that are stuck in the scalp of my, back of my head. And so like, me not thinking, I'm just like, oh, I'm going to pull these things out. And so like, I'm bleeding and not very much, but it's enough to where like I can feel it. And I reach back and I'm like, oh man, I really did some damage here.
So gnarly.
Yeah. And so then afterwards, I just to be safe, I kind of went to the first aid tent and they were like, yeah, we'll hit you up with a little bit, we'll clean you up, hit you with some peroxide and, clean it off a little bit. And I mean, it was nothing major. It was just, there was no splits or
probably
anything.
Stung worse
there.
than
Yeah,
landing on the
actually,
rocks.
it did. And that's like, yeah, that's, to me, that was the crazy part that actually hurt more than falling in the pit.
I bet.
But I looked back and I was like, I will never do one of these again. And then after 5 minutes of saying that, I was like, where can I sign up next? Yeah, that's what it is. That's how addicting
it's almost kind of like, kind of makes you almost feel like a hunter gatherer again.
Yeah.
Like way back when, before technology and
Yep.
civilization, and just kind of takes you back to those roots.
It's like a primal feeling.
Nitty gritty. Yeah. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
Primal.
Yeah. It's just a primal feeling. To me, it's like you've overcome not only yourself, but you've overcome the land that has provided this challenge in front of you. And it's amazing.
That's something that I love about it too. So I'm a country girl, so doing parkour isn't really very available to me.
Yeah.
Like parkour over some trees.
Yeah.
So
parkour.
That's the opportunity that I get outdoors, is I kind of get to parkour outside in the woods, which is awesome because I would much rather be in the woods than in the city.
Exactly.
And you get to enjoy the beautiful scenery. Chattanooga's in the mountains, so you guys definitely need to come down in September.
Yeah, I think we could probably arrange that. September's far enough out. I might be able to schedule some PTO and go. Yeah. I'm gonna have to talk to Don and Mike and get on this.
You tell them Victoria said so.
I will.
And then it's a done deal after that.
Right. And all three of us are going to use the code.
That's right. Yes. Yes. I have to beat the other ambassadors.
There you go. Awesome. Before we wrap up, Victoria, where can we find you on social media?
So I'm pretty standard. Victoria Phillips. My handle is Victory to Fitness. So that's spelled like my name without the A, the number 2 and fitness.
Okay.
And awesome. I'm on Facebook and I'm on Instagram as well. Be forewarned that after May, my last name will no longer be Phillips. It'll be O'Daniel. I'm getting married in May.
Congratulations.
So I'll keep it Phillips for a little while, and then you guys are just going to have to find me as O'Daniel.
Look, it's cool. You can keep it as long as you like, because I'm going to be honest with you. My wife did not change her last name. We've been married since June of 2019. She did not. Thank you. She did not change her last name until late last year, 2020.
Oh, she was holding on to it.
Yeah, right. She was just, I think a lot of it was just procrastination, but there's
a lot of stuff you got to change.
Oh, I know. It's such a pain. I would go to the store, like she'd order something to be picked up or whatever, and go to the store and I'd be like, yeah, can I, I'm here to pick up an order. Last name is Jolliffe. And they're like, yeah, we don't have any orders. Oh, okay. Yeah. Boggs. Okay. There. Yeah.
That is a pretty cool last name. That is a little hard to give up. Mine's just like a traditional English name going to an Irish name. So it's a pretty easy transition there.
Yeah. Mine, everybody always butchers mine because our daughter can't say F. So like anybody that she talks to, they always think it's JOLLISS rather than FF. And it's really not a common last name, especially, I'm a transplant here in the Northwest. So I'm mostly from like central United States. So the Midwest. Okay. My parents, they're from Southern Illinois, just outside of like St. Louis, Missouri. and that name, our last name, is all over that area. And I think we were probably like original settlers in that area. I don't know, but I mean, there's so many like there's companies over there that I know I'm personally not related to them like directly. It's probably some like fourth or fifth or sixth cousin removed, but you'll see companies with the last name. You'll see all kinds of stuff. In like one particular town, the town that my parents grew up in, even if they don't know you individually, they know that last name. And if you go into a, like a supermarket or something, and, if they ask you to see ID and they oh, whose kid are you? And, that name is like synonymous.
It could be good or bad. It just depends on your life choices there.
Yeah. And I think I would say the majority of it is good, because my grandparents on my dad's side are from that part of town. And also my grandfather on my mom's side. So whether it's Kuntz or Jolliffe, like those names are synonymous with pretty much everybody there. Everybody knows who they are. You could say, oh, hey, I'm Jerry's grandkid. And they'll be like, oh, okay. I know Jerry. He's a good guy and all this. And so you could go a long way with my last name in the Midwest, at least in Southern Illinois.
I'm glad you have a good reputation.
Right. Well,
make sure you don't ruin it.
I'm trying my darndest. But yeah, so to get back on that, she didn't change her name for a really long time. And I think the last one where she realized that she actually needed to change it, not that she really was required, but we went to go pick up another grocery order, and she was in the passenger seat, and we roll up, and I roll down the window, and they're like, all right, are you Mr. Boggs? And I'm like, yes, I am. And
yes, babe.
Yep, I have taken her last name. So then she's like, wow, I guess I should get that changed. That's awesome. Well,
I tried to convince my fiance to take my name,
hey,
in the name of femininity,
and
girl power,
Hey, I've actually,
he shot me down pretty quick.
Well, most people you won't, most guys you won't get to change anything. You're not going to change who they are. But I actually, so quick sidebar, I actually officiated a wedding in Oklahoma, probably 2015, I think 2014, 2015.
What don't you do?
Run.
That was a good answer.
But so I officiated a wedding, and they actually combined their last name into one. And it was like, so they took half of the one last name and half of the other last name, and then spliced them together. And it was like the weirdest thing. And I
could be Phillips.
Right, there you go. Yeah, we always joke, and I always say Jollabogs, but
that's funny.
Or
that sounds like a Star Wars name.
Yeah, or Jawlogs or something like that. But it was so funny because I actually had to, at their request, I actually had to say, when I pronounced them, I had to say their last name, but they wanted me to say it quiet enough to where his father couldn't hear what I was saying, because he would have had a fit.
Funny.
He would have had a fit if he'd have known that he was changing his son was changing his last name. And
that's hilarious.
Yeah, so I had to, I'm doing this loud pronouncement thing, I'm like saying it, and then when I get to the last name, it's like super quiet. and everybody was like, what
do you say, Sonny?
Yeah, like what did you say their name was? Yeah, exactly. I don't think I quite heard you right. But yeah, it's I don't know, it's fun. I like the tradition of everything, and I'm okay with, I told her, it was like, look, if you honestly want me to change it, I don't care. I'll change it to your last name. Don't let my dad hear that. He doesn't listen to these episodes anyway. He's got far too bigger things to do. It's kind of a fun thing I like to joke about with her, especially since she waited around so long. But yes, congratulations are in order for you.
Thank you.
Yes, I wish you many, many, many great years of marriage.
Yeah, he's stuck with me, so
Hey, there you go. There you go.
we're just gonna have to do mud runs together. That's
right.
just,
Exactly. Fortify that
people
bond.
that get muddy together stay together.
Exactly. Fortify the bond with mud. Who needs a ring when you have mud?
Hey, you got to wear the ring that you can wear in mud.
There you go. Just like one of those. Exactly.
Yeah. You're about it.
Yeah, heck yeah, I'm about it. Awesome. Well, Victoria, thank you so much for being our guest tonight and for giving us motivation and the inspiration to be stronger, better versions of ourselves. It has been a pleasure, and we look forward to hearing from you again.
Thank you so much. Have a great day or
Thank
night,
you.
I guess.
Yeah, it's starting to get dark here.
Oh, it's still what?
I said it's starting to get dark here.
Oh, okay. Well, have a good evening then.
Yes, you as well.
Thanks for listening to the BeastNet podcast. If you haven't done it yet, find us on Facebook, like and share the podcast. Give us a review on iTunes or Spotify. All these things will help to expand the show in the future. Don't forget to subscribe and let us know what you think and what you'd like to hear.